Hey guys, what's going on? It's Tcarp. Well, on a recent vacation, I took me and my family to the battleship North Carolina. One thing about this ship is, wow, it's very impressive. Some background history: it's a World War II ship, been commissioned a couple times, and it's mostly just a protector. What you're going to see here is we're walking through. We're seeing the two planes on here. What you'll notice about these planes is they're prop planes. They're not jet planes. They literally slung-shot these suckers off the boat. So what you're looking at here also is some 20 millimeter or 16 millimeter, anti-aircraft guns. Looking at the American flag there, and looking out over a river in North Carolina. All right, okay. I'm gonna let my little buddy explain how this sucker works here.
Well, they're launching.
So they didn't land on the ship, Jacob. What did they do?
Yeah.
What did they do?
They landed on the water.
And?
The ship was loved by.
There's a picture
There's the
of it.
crane.
One.
See the crane?
And the crane.
Oh, here it is.
So show me where the crane is, Jacob.
Right there.
This big old crane right here.
They swing that thing around.
It's pretty cool. What they would do is they would, like I said, slingshot the actual planes off of the deck of the battleship, and these planes would not land on the battleship. They would actually land in the water, and a crane would pick them up and place them back on the ship. What we're looking at now is we're crawling into the hull of some of these humongous guns that they had. These suckers were on a 360 turret. They had periscopes. They had several things going on with them. But looking at all this stuff is thinking, wow, how much mechanics went into just the turret on these huge battleships. There's so much equipment, so much wiring in this thing. It's incredible. From here on out, we're going to head down to the lower deck of the ship. As you can see, it's quite impressive when you just walk down. It's not really small ceilings as I was led to believe. Here you can see the mess hall where the crew would have their lunch and dinner and whatnot when they got the meal call. We're looking just kind of through here. One thing I noticed is this hammock hanging up, and what they would do is they'd have these hooks and they would throw hammocks up for kind of the Marines or any other people that they were taking on board, and that's where they would sleep, would be in the mess hall at night. Which was pretty incredible to me, how many people they could fit on this ship. I think it was around 30,000-40,000, and for a World War II ship, that was pretty good. Here you see the ship's one of the ship's stores. I think there's 3 stores on the ship at this point. Just kind of sold the basic goods, you know, shirts, shoes, extra things like that. Just basics. Here you see where the quarters were. You see the bed, the desk, stuff like that. You can see that these guys lived in really close quarters. It wasn't very private, if you know what I mean. Here you can see the post office they had in there. I had 2 or 3 guys working in there, and I assume they got mail every other day or whatnot, dropped off by the airplanes that were launched by the ship. So I thought that was pretty cool. Here's some examples of the lockers and some of the things again they sold. Your Barbasol, your other things like that. One thing about this ship that I noticed was kind of the old world craftsmanship that took place on this ship. Here's the paper cutting place. You also had things like cobblers and whatnot, just people actually doing crafts and layman work and working with their hands. You know, if something broke or something needed to be made on the ship, they did it. You know, here's the laundry room where people were just, their job was to fold laundry every single day. You know, here's where these guys were to press and iron laundry every single day. It's amazing to me how much room they gave for just laundry. You could tell that the culture of the Navy back then was really on how good you look at. Not a lot of room for sleeping, but one of the biggest rooms was for laundry. So it's very you can tell where some priorities were a little different back then. You can see right here, you know, we've got the let's take a look. Yeah, these guys are the washing machines and the fresh water. These things they're huge back then. That's incredible to me.
Look at that. Washing machines. How a washing machine works.
Look at the cobbler and the technology they used back then, old Singer sewing machines. If things broke, they fixed it back then. How many times have you been to a cobbler recently? I know I've never been one, I've never seen one, but things were made a little bit differently back then.
Okay, that's really hard to push here. They actually had not bad living quarters, to be honest with you. No for 2 racks for the tailor shop. Everybody stayed in there. Everybody stayed in their own shop. Tailor shop, all that stuff.
One of the fascinating things is to see how close quarters these guys lived.
What do you
These
think,
bunks
Madison?
were about 6 high.
This is the
Couldn't
washroom.
imagine sleeping on top of them. Here we take a look into the washroom. As you see, you got troughs here to wash your hands and whatnot.
This is called the trough.
And, you know, there was no privacy. There's, of course, the urinals. No ladies were let in the Navy back then, and of course, here's your stalls where you took a dump. So, kind of get over the whole crapping in public, I guess. Of course, you got your showers, and here's the best sign of all. I thought was real funny. Again, is privacy. You lost that when you joined the Navy. So, you know, remember, save fresh water, wet down, shut off water, soap up, rinse off, save fresh water. So it wasn't about the comforts back then. Looking back, man, they didn't pay these guys anything. If you want to, stop and see what the guys got paid back then and how, on the average, what they got paid. Here's the sick bay, which, you know, you have your doctors and nurses on the ship. This ship is a small city. You know, I'm sure that you know, taking people's appendix out and all that stuff was common on the ship. You got to have everything on this thing. That is what, to me, is incredible. How much they had on this ship. It's a little city, and it's everything you need on that ship for 6 months. Again, incredible engineering back, you know, World War II.
Dispensary. Doctor's office. Here's surgery.
Along with the massive amounts of equipment, you have to have a massive amounts of people and instruments to fire such equipment.
Rangefinder.
Here you can see all the calculations and the machines they used and the mathematics they used to fire these huge guns. I, of course, didn't understand any of it, but to me that's incredible how much stuff they had cranked onto this ship and how much calculation went into firing one single round.
Secondary battery plotting room. Of course, you have to have 2. Look at this stuff.
Look,
Switchboard.
General Electric.
Yeah. General Electric.
Nobody messed with it.
Spot 2, Sky 2, Spot 1, 16-inch guns. 5-inch guns.
Fire the war conning tower.
At this point, we start getting into some fun things, which are the bullets. Look at how big these things are. Here's my little niece and nephew,
What do you think of that?
and those bullets are bigger than
We
that.
got some good ammo.
I think the bullets weighed, heck, I can't even really remember. I'd probably say a good 100 pounds. They were massive things. With different tips. I know the red ones were the actual practice ammunition. They weighed the exact same, so the guys could practice and get that down pat. But my goodness, look at how much this thing carried, and it's an impressive amount of fireworks, to say the least. It's impressive. It's just impressive how large it was just to fire these things. Here is the powder. The powder bag was really cool. It's made out of silk, which burns quick, doesn't leave any residue in the gun, which they explain right here. If you want to pause the video and check it out, they used 3 bags, and it was really incredible how that system worked.
Okay. It was a World War II submarine. Yeah. I was telling her, she says, oh, she says she'd like to work on a...
We got to have some fun with some of the guns on the ship. They had this one open, and my little niece and nephew got to kind of play on it. One cranked how high it was. The other cranked how left and right. I think back then they did have hydraulics, but they took those out, and of course gave the manual stuff, and man, the kids got to have some fun. The one thing I did notice about this is all this stuff was iron sights, which I thought was really cool. So, as you can see here, here's the captain's quarters. When it comes right down to it, it's not a whole lot bigger than a small closet. You know, and this is the captain. This is the leader of the ship. You know, here's his work area and whatnot. But again, just small areas for these guys to work in, and that's the biggest thing, is how little room they had to work. Guys, the battleship North Carolina is a great place to take your family to learn about our nation's history and about some things that these guys did. Thank you for watching.